Hello, Redhawks. Welcome to this week's Read Aloud with Mr. H and
AJ. Hey everyone, and this week we're going to be talking about snow.
Snow. Snow may be a subject that some students are interested and eager and excited, and others are like, I don't like snow. Well, one of the reasons why we're talking about it this week is to find out more about snow. There may be some things that you just don't know. So AJ and I are here to explain it. Snow! Seeing snow for the first time. I don't know if you can remember how old you were the first time you saw snow, but I have a story of a student of mine at Central many years ago who was 18. She was a high school senior and she had transferred to Naperville Central from the country of Australia. And where she lived, it was always warm and she had never seen snow. I remember the day that snow was in the forecast. It was going to snow that day. In fact, it was forecast to start snowing during my class. And so the student walked in and she was all excited and could barely stay in her seat. And I was trying to get the lesson started. And then I heard this, and she stood up and she walked over to the windows and she never left the window. She stayed there for the rest of the class period, just watching the snow. And it was so cute. All the other students gave her space and were kind of marveling and just wondering, like, how awesome would it be to see snow for the very first time? And it was amazing.
All right, snow. Snow makes a prettier winter scene if you don't have to shovel or drive in it. But how does snow form and why is it white? How does snow happen?
Today, kids ask,
what makes it snow?
Snow may seem magical, but there's actually some interesting science behind the fluffy white flakes that fall from the sky in winter. Just like rain, snow begins in the clouds. Clouds are made of tiny water droplets that have evaporated into a gas, risen up into the sky, and condensed back into water. As tiny water droplets, they remain suspended in the air, but the water droplets soon join together into larger, heavier droplets and become too heavy to stay in the air. When this happens, precipitation will fall. Precipitation is water that falls from the sky, but there are several different kinds. If temperatures are warm enough, water falls as rain. If temperatures are freezing, but only near the ground, the raindrops will freeze when they hit the ground. This is called freezing rain. If the layer of cold air is thicker, the raindrops will freeze while still in the air, falling as separate ice pellets called sleet. Snow only occurs when temperatures are freezing all the way from the cloud to the ground. The loose, open structure of snowflakes means that snow contains a lot of air, which is the reason that snow is soft and fluffy instead of hard and icy. Although it may not be true that no two snowflakes are alike, snowflakes may form in many different shapes in a variety of complicated structures. If you go outside while it's snowing and catch some snowflakes on something dark, like a glove or a piece of black paper, you may be able to see their structures for yourself. Well, that's what makes it snow. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, that helped me a lot.
And our next question, why is snow white?
Why is snow white?
No, if water is clear, why does snow look white?
Oh. In the middle of the day, the sun appears very white. Snow reflects the color of the light shining on it.
So if there's an orange light, the snow will also look orange. And if there's blue lights, then the snow will look blue. Or purple lights, you'll have purple snow. And yellow light means yellow snow, but if you have a dog, don't eat the yellow snow. But that's another good question. Is it safe to eat snow? It depends on the location and the color. If you collect snow directly from the sky and let it fall into a bowl, then yes, that would be safe. and cleaner than sink water. If the snow you collect is discolored or collecting near a roadway or other exhaust site, like a chimney or a dryer vent, then no. If you're collecting snow to melt into drinking water, while camping, for example, use a coffee filter to strain out small particles. What happens if there's too much snow? When the snow falls heavy and accumulates quickly, the skies fill with snowflakes. This is called a blizzard. What's the record for the most snow we have ever had in our area? The blizzard of 1967 on January 26th and 27th of that year dumped 23 inches of snow on the Chicago area.
I was not
Almost 2
alive at
feet.
1967, but I remember the blizzards of 1977 and 79 living in Chicago. And I remember it took 4 shovelfuls of snow just to get down to the ground. It was piled high. I remember staying home from school because there was so much snow, we couldn't even get out the front door.
Well, how do weather forecasters know when or how much is going to snow? Let's ask a meteorologist.
Now, forecasting winter brings a whole lot of challenges. Is it going to be snow? Is it going to be rain? Or something in between? Will it be 1 inch of snow? Will it be 10 inches of snow? There's so many variables that go into the science of forecasting. Bridget Mahoney takes a look at some of the challenges.
I can tell you that forecasting snowfall is probably the most challenging thing that we do here.
Weather is about to change.
A challenge the Fox 2 weather team is up for. Bring you updates all morning long.
They're sending enough moisture for some snow.
It is a definite bundle up evening across the bi-state area.
Heavy snow is always the most talked about weather event in St. Louis because of the effects.
And it has the most impact, the most widespread impact. A tornado will only impact a small area, right? It can be devastating in that area, but a snowfall, an extreme snowfall, like a foot or more of snow, can have a widespread impact. So we feel the weight of the forecast on us.
Exactly why meteorologists use their knowledge of science combined with experience and technology to overcome forecasting difficulties.
But it really comes down to forecaster expertise.
Also, more storms later on in the week. Expertise the Fox 2 weather team has. I would describe this in one word: brutal.
The heavy snowfall rates really impact driving conditions the most.
That's why Joe Monroe, an engineer at IDOT, stays attuned to the forecast days, hours, and minutes leading up to an event.
I'd probably check it too much.
Knowing one tweak can cause a snow forecast to boom or bust.
Biggest challenge for us for forecasting snow is the forecast track. If you're off by just a few miles, that can mean the difference between St. Charles County getting a foot of snow or maybe St. Louis County getting a foot of snow.
If the heaviest snow alters its track by only a few miles, like from historic St. Charles to downtown St. Louis, plows have to play catch up. That's where temperatures come in. In the summer, if a forecast is predicted for 74 degrees but lands at 71, most people won't notice. In the winter, a change from 34 degrees to 31, roadways change from wet to frozen.
You might have 3 or 4 degrees difference in temperature. So it could be snowing here, could be sleet, where the 3I, where 55, 70, and 64 come together, and it could be rain in Belleville. So you try to put a plan together.
Meteorologists helping plan, predicting temperatures at the surface and through all levels of the atmosphere. A difference at any location, any height, spread along hundreds of miles, make the forecast tricky even for the experts. That's why you'll see ranges of predicted snow. Other factors like snow banding caused by converging moisture and wind create concentrations of heavy snow in one specific area. The placement of where the band will land is difficult to predict days in advance. As the event draws closer, it's easier to nail down more specific totals. But remember, weather can change in an instant.
We try to update our products and our forecasts as soon as possible, but we also like to call MoDOT and IDOT and get to the people that are making the decisions on who's going to be actually out there cleaning the snow off and give them the latest information.
That's interesting. And you saw the images of the plows pushing that snow out of the way so that people can continue to get to where they need to go, like school or work. And forecast involves a range of predictions, like maybe 3 to 5 inches, because when it starts snowing, we don't really know if the temperature is going to stay steady or rise or fall.
But while the roads are scary, there's some fun things you can do while it's snowing outside. What are they? Some snow-related crafts are painting like this. So on some cardstock, you can put some painter's tape on the areas that you want to keep white so that it looks like a snowflake. And then you can paint whatever you want. Then when the paint dries, you can take the tape off and then there's a white spot where the paint was, so it looks like snowflakes. Fingerprint snowflakes. This one, it looks like you can make the snowman with your fingerprints or without it. And you put white paint on your fingers and then you stick your finger on the paper and a little dot and it looks like it's snow falling. This one, you can make a snow globe jar and you can do it with or without the water and stuff inside. The material they use is called glycerin, which you can probably find at a craft store like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. But if you wanted to do it without it, you can just find whatever you want to put inside. Like these have a deer, one of them has a bird and some little trees, and just glue them to the lid of a jar and turn the jar upside down. And snow coloring.
So for snow coloring, you would use water and a little bit of vinegar and either food coloring, or you can take the tab from watercolors, from the paints, and use those to spray or to squirt out in the snow.
And here's some pictures of snowflakes that I've taken. So I actually had a special lens attachment for my phone that I used to take these, but you can take pictures like this on a digital camera as well.
That's very detailed. You can see the crystal structure of each snowflake.
And then here's just a single one closer up, and the background looks fuzzy on all of them because it was on my winter coat. So I had a pink coat and they were all falling on my coat, and so my lens picked up the fuzz on my coat along with the snowflakes.
Do you see how clear it's almost like glass and a little bit of white reflection, maybe because that was the light outside. And that helps us understand again, what color is snow? It's really just frozen water.
Playing in the snow can be a lot of fun. But cleaning up the snow can be a lot of work. Snow turns the earth into a giant winter sandbox. So whatever you choose to do with the snow around you, we hope that you're safe and have fun.
And that's our reminder, now that we've learned a little bit more about snow, that like a giant winter sandbox, it's okay to go outside and play in it. Be sure that you are dressed for the weather and that you have fun. Have a great winter break, Red Hawks.
Bye. Happy holidays.